I want to tell you guys a little bit more about the solar return timing from my friends at Starseed Hotline and Lavendar in their words, because they're the people that really taught this practice to me. So I'm going to read some information that they've shared with me about your solar return and creating a solar return ceremony. I'll add in some of my information, but I'm going to read this off to you guys. I think it'll be helpful and more eloquently shared this way. And then I'll jump into some final things that you guys can consider for your manifestation day, your solar return timing. But simply put, your solar return is your true birthday. Knowing the exact time that you were born, so the day, the time, and the place is very important in order to get an accurate solar return timing for all your birthdays after that. So you want to know the city and state you were born, the exact time. So were you born at 1:30 p.m.? Were you born at 1:32 p.m.? You want that exact time. And this all helps in setting your solar return timing for all your birthdays after. Because there is a 10-hour window of enormous manifestational power available to you to use towards your own benefit and growth. So at the moment of your birth, as you drew your first breath, the silica in your body was imprinted with the frequency of the positions of the planets at the precise moment you were born. So just like radio crystals or silicon microchips, you become programmed to a specific frequency. Your silica naturally sets itself to the first planetary energies that it encounters in that precise moment and place when you were born. So it becomes your blueprint that you can carry for life. It's encoded in your body. You cannot change it. So the exact position of the sun when you were born is obviously your birthday. So I'm a Gemini, people are Leos, people are Cancers, but let's go back to the example of you were born on April 30th, 1980, 1:30 p.m. The sun was in Taurus at, 9:26 degrees. And, the placements were as they were at 1:30 in the afternoon when you were born. So each year when the sun returns to that exact same degree at 1:30 on April 30th, it is the peak moment of your solar return. But like I mentioned before, because we have leap years, the solar return can happen at a few hours different from your actual birthday and time. So you can have been born on April 30th, 1980 at 1:30, but some years your 10 hours of power are going to be the day before, or a few hours after you were born, or a few hours before you were born. And then it also depends on where you are on your birthday. So when you work with an astrologer and they ask for your information for your solar return timing, they're going to ask you where you're going to be on your birthday this year, because that will determine the time of your solar return. So if you're planning to travel to Italy for your birthday, that's fantastic, but you need to let the astrologer that you're working with know so they give you the exact timing for the place that you're going to be. And it's really important if you're planning a vacation to know that the energy of where you are is part of what you're locking in for your year ahead. So I've spent my birthdays in many places. I've spent them on the island of Ischia, which is the first and oldest spa in the world. It's a beautiful island with thermal waters off the coast of Naples. And then I've spent birthdays in Sedona's. I've spent birthdays in Palm Springs, in Laguna Beach, in Washington, D.C., in New York City, all over. And after doing this for so long, you can really look back at years past and see how what you were doing on your birthday and where you were really locked in the experience you had for the year. So, just like hearing a train whistle approach from a distance, 5 hours to the peak of your birthday, the silica in your body starts to resonate to the note which was imprinted in you the day that you were born. So, silica can be used to amplify thoughts. So, as your internal silica starts to resonate and activate, your ability to transmit energy is increased 1,000%, which makes it a day and time that you can more easily manifest. The 5 hours approaching you you may feel things building up. You may feel like you have a lot that you want to share and get out. And then after those 5 hours, it will slowly start to recede. So the train whistle will start to quiet down. So the way everyone feels during their 10 hours of power is different. I think it's important to share because most people I know and I've talked to about their 10 hours of power, they really use the time to just enjoy the day or those 10 hours as they would want to. So some spend it with their family, some make it a spa day. I have found for me that I'm always really tired on my birthday. So no matter where I spend it, it's the one day a year I end up taking a nap. So for whatever reason, what my body and mind and soul needs on my solar return is sleep, and whatever is meant to manifest is being worked on while I'm passed out under a little beach umbrella somewhere. I haven't talked to anybody else that's happened to, but I usually cannot keep my eyes open on my birthday and I end up napping. I mean, it's even happened to me when I was in Sedona. I got up early, went to a beautiful mountain or mesa, wrote out all my intentions for the year, screamed them out loud, had my own little ceremony, came back down the hill to eat a late breakfast, and it was about 11 a.m. and I could not keep my eyes open. It was 11 a.m. And like clockwork, I went out to the pool at my hotel and just slept for a few hours. I couldn't keep my eyes open. And that tends to be what always happens to me on my birthday. So this year I'm going to do my usual thing. I'm going to go down to the beach, enjoy lunch and dinner on the beach, and plan to take some extra blankets or towels, because I know at some point I'm going to pass out and need to take a little nap. So if you guys have heard me talk about silica throughout this and the silica percolating in your body as you get closer to your 10 hours of power, to your true birthday, if you aren't someone that takes a silica supplement, this might be a great time around your birthday to start to increase your silica. Increasing your silica just helps your third eye, your antenna, your ability to just harness your natural psychic abilities that we all have. So everyone can benefit from consuming silica as a supplement. We all were born with silica in us. And silica really acts as our little antenna, and it gets really drained from our body by the technology that we're around. So that's part of why I consume it all the time. It's just a supplement that I take year round. I take a quartz crystalline based silica because the silica in our body is quartz crystalline based. So you'll see a lot of silicas out there at health food stores. They tend to be plant based. One of the plants that they use is horsetail, so not animal horsetail, but a plant called horsetail. You'll also see a brand called BioSil. Those aren't the ideal silica because, again, they aren't a quartz-based silica, and that's what you want. So the silica brand I use is, I'm going to have to look it up while I'm chatting with you guys here. Orgone. I use Orgone silica. I really like it. I've been taking it probably for over 5 years. It's liquid. I just shoot a little bit in my mouth. It tastes fantastic. I take it year round, and I've taken it year round for over 5 years. So I highly suggest. Let's see. But with that in mind, Silica can be used to amplify your thoughts. So as you internally take more silica, it is going to allow you to resonate and activate and transmit energy much more strongly and beneficial for manifestation year round and on your birthday. So let's talk about creating a solar return ceremony. So it's your birthday, you have your 10 hours of power, you know the peak time, the number one hour for manifestation, you know the time before, the time after. You know what you want to do on your birthday. You want to go to the spa, you want to go to the beach, you have to go to work, whatever it may be. I'll give you an example. So one year, my birthday fell on a day that I had to go to work. There was no way I could take the day off. If I took the day off, I didn't make money. I was a pastry chef at a restaurant, and taking the day off from work was going to cause me more stress than just sucking it up, going in, getting it done. So it was during my 10-hour power window that I was going to be at work. So I tried to tell myself, okay, we're going to go in, we're just going to have a great day at work, we're going to make it fun, we're going to play good music, we're going to be happy, we're just going to go with the flow. We can't control at this point that we're going to be there, so we're going to make the best of it. So what happens as I'm in the kitchen early in the morning at the restaurant, putting in all the muffins for the day to get baked? I start burning myself, like accidentally burning myself as I put stuff into the oven, put stuff on the stove. I kept burning myself that morning during my 10 hours of power. And what happened to me the rest of the year? I burned my hands constantly. Every week I was having another injury to my hands. That year I also had a huge injury to my thumb with a mandolin, but it was a war on my hands that year. And I have to laugh because I really, I take responsibility for that because I kind of set that in motion during my 10 hours of power. So it's interesting if you start to journal on your birthday every year on how you spent the day, and then you look back a year later and see how that plays out in your year